G'day YouTube, welcome to the 265 Motorsport channel. This is a BMW 1M, it's a 1M with a story, and I'm here to tell you about it. I'm Andrew, or Suva as everyone knows me, and this is my shed. I've been into cars most of my adult life. I've built Toranas, VE Commodores, Subaru WRXs, STIs, Silvias, Skylines. I've played with a lot of cars. Most of them have been street orientated builds. You name it, I've pretty much driven it. And my journey racing started with an R33 Skyline. I picked it up as an ex-drift car, turned it into a circuit racing car, raced it in WA in the street car series at state level. The car did pretty well, I did pretty well, and yeah, about 18 months ago, work, family life took over, and I sold the car. And for an 18-month period, I was a little weird about selling the car. Lacked a bit of drive and interest in racing as a whole. And as of a couple of months ago, I started trawling my 105 and wanted to dip my toes into the journey of racing again. For those that don't know, My 105 is a motorsports classified webpage. So I started trawling the website itself and came across a pretty rough looking 135i. As I read the ad further, the ad itself detailed the car as a BMW 1M, which I thought was a bit strange. So I called the guy, and after chatting to the owner confirmed that it was a genuine 1M. He was kind enough to give me the VIN number. I called BMW and confirmed that the VIN number itself was a genuine 1M, as well as I'd contacted CAMS, and CAMS had confirmed that the car was a genuine BMW 1M, and it did have a fair bit of motorsport history. From there, I got pretty interested in the car. I spoke with the previous owner again, and after a bit of toing and froing, finding the details out about the car, sussing out what was damaged, what wasn't damaged, we come to an agreement on price, and I put a deposit on the car sight unseen, which is really strange for me. It's not something that I've ever done before, especially not something that I've done with a car that's on the other side of the country. From there, it took me a couple of weeks to get myself organised to take a flight over to Melbourne and have a look at the car. During that time, as things went by, I started Google searching what 1M race cars look like, and funnily enough, 1Ms being really rare, especially this one being one of 350 in Australia, there wasn't much around for BMW 1Ms. There was a few in-car footage videos on YouTube detailing or coming from the Australian Production Car Championship, and as I watched a couple of those videos, things started to come together that this car may have had some of that production car history. I started to see in-car footage on YouTube, and from that in-car footage, some of the pictures there matched some of the interior photos that were on the My 105 ad. That then led me down a massive rabbit hole of a lot of internet research and a lot of Google discoveries. It turns out this car has quite a significant history, both racing and just overall the build, how it started. Whilst it's very professional and really well done, the build and the whole car has an amazing history. That history is something that I'll detail up for you now.
Sharon Rentals car chasing them down, and then this group of Evo Lancers and then Beric Linton in the Alfera Financial Services number 40 car right in the mix. But this Class A and B fight, there's nothing between them, very evenly mixed, and the winner of this race could have come from any one of this group of cars.
Yeah, the battle just continued pretty much for the whole 4 hours. It was such a good race for the top honours in Group A and, Class A and Class B. So first lap was an absolute thriller, left us with 5 or 6 cars towards the front of the field.
So it turns out this car is one of the world's first BMW 1M race cars, if not the world's first BMW 1M race cars. This car was officially written off by BMW on the Top Gear, or by Top Gear Australia, on the BMW press day at the release of the 1M into Australia. One of the journalists had put this car on its roof, and BMW were forced to write this car off. So that led to 349 cars being available for sale in Australia. During that time, a bloke by the name of Beric Linton, who ran Linton BMW on the Gold Coast, purchased this car and turned this car into the world's first, or one of the world's first, BMW 1M race cars. The car had a lot of support in terms of the development and the build, and this car here basically wrote the 3E production rulebook for the BMW 1M. Things like the suspension selection, brake selection, what we could do with the engine, you know, a whole raft of documentation and homologation for this car was all based on this car and set the rules for the BMW 1M. From there, once I'd detailed and found a lot of this history, I can say, as a matter of fact, that Beric Linton actually documented this really well on a BIMA forum, and we'll put that link to that forum and link to the build here in this, somewhere here on the YouTube channel, as well as a photo, a still shot of the Top Gear Australia article with the BMW on its roof. As I delved deeper and deeper into the history of this car, I eventually found the time to fly over to Melbourne and have a look at it in the flesh. And as we looked at it, look, it was a little rough chatting with the previous owner. It had a whack, hadn't raced since Bathurst, the Bathurst 6 Hour in 2021. So yeah, discussed the car, discussed a little bit about the owner's history with the car, looked it over, it started, it ran, we managed to drive it around the block, funnily enough. It was at that point that I decided to pay the money, and a friend of mine, Tony Ordino, thank you mate, thank you for holding the car in your shed for a week. We took it away, parked it up in Tony's shed until I arranged transport to get it over from Victoria to here in Bunbury, WA, and 5 weeks later, here it sits in the shed on stands, ready for us to begin the restoration project. So as I watched more and more video footage of the 1M and in particular this 1M, the more I realised that Beric had built a really professional put together car, and it had a really successful racing history. So a little bit on the history on this car: it's won the 2014 Production Car Championship. It won its class in the Bathurst 12 Hour in 2015. He won the Production Car Championship again in 2016 and has competed a lot of times at the Bathurst 6 Hour in the Production Car category. This car was then sold to a father and son team who then raced it up and down the east coast of Australia, Queensland, Sydney Motorsport Park, Victoria. Then it was sold on in late 2020, early 21 to the previous owner, Thor Bloomfield, who I purchased the car from, and competed at its last Bathurst 6 Hour in 2021, where it unfortunately didn't finish and had a bit of a crash, which has led to the damage that we will show you on the next video. And this is all part of that restoration project. My plan is to race it here in WA in the WA Production Car Series. We may, depending on how the restoration goes, we may try and race it over east again. But for now, we're focusing solely on WA racing at Carco Raceway and Collie, and getting this thing back to racing condition, paying homage to the original build, trying to keep as close to the original build as we can. I'll also put my spin and my flair on it, and get this thing back on the track and get it racing. If there's anything you guys would like to see or hear about on the channel, please let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Likewise, any tips, tricks, anything I need to know about working on BMWs or 1Ms for those that have got 1Ms out there in the world, please let me know in the comments. And we'll end this one here, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.